Okay, so this is the last paper that we have for now for your batch. For the future batches, there will be more papers. So let's assume, right, you came for classes and you're doing A levels in 2022. Okay, see how many questions are repeated. Explain the difference between decreasing returns to scale and diminishing returns to a variable factor. Now, don't get scared when they give you diminishing returns to a variable factor. They're simply asking to explain the difference between decreasing returns to scale and diminishing returns to scale. Sorry, law of diminishing returns is the second stage. Can you handle something like that? Say, what is decreasing returns to scale? What is diminishing returns to returns? Okay. Next one. Next one is asking, see, they are giving a nice question on economic profit. We'll do this. See, this is a little bit of a new question. Same thing. Remember, I told you guys, they can give you a question on this economic profit calculation by putting some numbers. That's a question, will come. It's not hard. State more main features of a perfectly competitive industry. I will be sad if they show this in your paper though. One thing is I would expect is for the paper to be hard, because you know why? When you get questions like this, everyone will get the 4 marks. So your EZ score is going to be low, right? You will be very happy. So paper is very easy. I got an A. But what you don't realize is the fellow who was going to fail also can do this paper. So the harder the paper is better for students who study. Because the harder the paper, you will be able to answer, the other fellow won't be able to answer. A little evil though, but that increases your EZ score. So don't be happy if the paper is easy. Be happy if the paper was hard. Because paper is easy means everyone would have done it. You're not standing out from the rest, because maximum marks you can get is 4. So even the stupidest fellow will get this answer correct. You also will get this answer correct. But if the question was harder, that fellow might get only 1 or 2 marks. You will get all 4 marks. Let's go goes up. Right? Have that in mind. Then this one, assume a perfect competitive this thing. Compare the market price of paddy relevant situation. We'll come to this. Interesting question. Okay, we'll go with one by one. Explain the difference between decreasing returns to scale and diminishing returns. So what is decreasing returns to scale? Decreasing returns to scale is where when you keep on increasing your input, in the long run, your output increases by a smaller percentage or by a lower percentage. You can give some reasons why. The depreciation of factors, stress associated with coordinating, right? You can give different reasons. Then what is diminishing returns of a variable factor? Diminishing returns of a variable factor is where when you keep on adding variable factors to a fixed factor in the short run, the marginal product starts to fall. That is what you call diminishing returns. Why does this happen? This is because the fixed factor is fully utilized. So when you keep on adding more and more variable factor, you can't really get a very high output. So output increases only a little. In other words, marginal product falls. So you need to explain that story for 4 marks. So 2 marks you talk about what is decreasing returns. For 2 marks you talk about what is diminishing returns. Is that okay? Can you get 4 out of 4 if you did that paper? Fine, guys. Can you quickly respond so we can go to the next? Yes. Okay. Then the next one. Okay. We'll look at this. Okay. Now, this is a new question that was not there in past papers. We'll see if you all can handle now from all what we have learned. Okay. Even if you have not wrote answers, do it with me now and give me an answer. Okay. Jayanta currently works as a lawyer at a legal consultancy firm, earning a monthly salary of 250,000. He is considering to start his own legal consultancy firm where he expects to earn 300,000. Okay. He would need an office and a clerk to run his own firm. He found the office which rents for 50,000 a month. Office rent is 50,000 a month. Further, he could hire a clerk for 40,000. If these figures are accurate, would Jayanta's consultancy be able to earn an economic profit? Explain your answer. Interesting question. Can you tell me, if Jayanta opens a consultancy firm, what is economic profit? Economic profit is total revenue minus total cost. Okay? Cost is direct and indirect. Okay? Can you tell me how much will Jayanta's total revenue be if he earns this? If he starts his own consultancy firm, how much can he earn based on our paragraph? Quickly give me an answer. They are saying he can earn a 300,000, right? Total revenue. So 300,000. Okay. His total cost is what? Total cost is a combination of direct cost and indirect cost. How much is his direct cost? Direct cost, he has monthly rent 50,000. Okay. And he has the clerk salary, that is 40,000. So he has a total direct cost of how much? Rupees 90,000. So therefore, can I say that Jayanta is making will make a profit of 210,000? What is the point that you're missing? You're calculating the profit like an accountant. Remember, we are economists. We are Bodda Pandita fellows. For us, cost is not direct cost. For us, cost is direct plus indirect. Can you see? Because he is starting this own consultancy firm, he has to forego his income. He has been working in another legal consultancy firm. How much was he earning? He was earning a 250,000 there, right? So if he starts his own firm, he can't work there also. No? So do you see there is a 250,000 worth of foregone income? If you miss that, the whole point is gone. So how much is the total cost for Jayanta? Total cost is 90,000 is direct, 250,000 indirect. So his total cost is a 340,000. There is no 50,000 opportunity cost, guys. So the opportunity cost is the 250. He has to forego this. So do you think Jayanta can make a profit? No. Jayanta makes a loss of how much? He makes a loss of 40,000. So this is your explanation, guys. So explain your answer. You need to do the working and show. You need to say, look here, right? His total revenue is 300. His direct cost is 90. His indirect cost is 250. So his total cost is 340. So yes, instead of total cost, you can say economic cost, no problem. So therefore, he's making a loss of 40,000 if he goes and has his own consultancy. So will he be able to earn an economic profit? No, he will be making a loss of 40,000. Explain giving your numbers. Is that okay? Not hard, right? Even though it was a new question that was not there in past papers, you can do it. No, it's not a question that is very hard. You can use your normal common sense of direct cost and indirect cost and do it, right? No problem at all. Now coming to the next one. State more 4 main features of a perfectly competitive industry. This is utter nonsense. I'm completely skipping it. That's a 4 mark that you can definitely get. Okay. So question number 1 and question number 3 have been repeated in past papers. Question number 2 is a little new, but still it's not that hard. In past papers, they asked to calculate profit and difference between direct and indirect. But here, they are giving you actual question and doing it. These kind of things are there in MCQs though. And there were MCQ questions like this to calculate this fellow's economic profit. If you realize, it has not been an essay question before, but there are MCQs. So you can't say this is also completely new. Then the next one. Last one, we'll see if you can do this. Assume a perfectly competitive paddy market. Okay. Firms in the market, not these are producing paddy, but they are currently incurring economic losses. They are producing paddy, but they are making economic losses. Compare the market price of paddy relevant to the situation with firms, average total cost, average variable cost, and the marginal cost. What is this? What are they asking, guys? And draw two graphs side by side to reflect the current situation. And is this typing is wrong, right? Current situation in the market and the future, right? That is what they're asking over. Let me get the no, not the mirror image story. I'll go with the 2022 question. Yes, subnormal profit graph. Yes. Let me go to the actual question. I think I have typed the question wrong. I got it through the scanning. Yeah. Hold on. It's an interesting question, though. Same, no? I've typed it. So, okay. Assume a perfect competitive paddy market. Okay. Firms in the market are producing paddy. That means, think they are still continuing to produce, but they are making a loss. So compare the market price with the okay. Tell me, if you compare the price with the average total cost, what can you say? Is the price less than the average total cost, equal or more? The firm is making losses. Price in the market is less than the average total cost. That's why they are making a loss. Okay. What can you tell about the price compared to the average variable cost? Here they are saying they are making losses, but they are continuing. So what can you say? Compared to the average variable cost, what is the price? The price is more than the average variable cost. Why? Because they are still continuing. Even though they are making a loss, they are still continuing. Right. What can you tell about the marginal cost? Price and the marginal cost. Huh? What can you tell about this? Now you're comparing the price with the marginal cost, not anything else. So what can you tell about the price and the marginal cost? Any guesses? Think of the profit maximizing condition. Just try to picture this in a graph. It's equal, right? Remember, price is the marginal revenue. Whether they are making losses or profits or whatever, they will be producing at MR equals MC. Everything. So can't you say that the price is equal to the marginal cost? You can say that, right? The price in the market will be equal to the marginal cost. Because why? The firm is producing at MR equals MC. Is that part okay, guys? 3 marks there. They are making a loss, so price is less than ATC. They are making a loss but still continuing, so price is more than AVC. MR equals MC. Yes, the firm is always at equilibrium, guys. Firms are always at MR equals MC. Okay. And given that this is equal. Next one, draw two graphs side by side to reflect the current situation in the market and for the typical firm. So market and the firm. Right? So you have two graphs. What graph do you have to draw here, guys? Let me draw this in the whiteboard. Very interesting question. It's a pure theory question, guys. The graph that you have to draw is what? Didn't get it? I'll come to it later again. Okay. Once I draw the graph also, I'll show you. Okay. So listen very carefully, guys. If you can understand this question, I think you're at a very good level. Okay. Look at this. You have the demand curve in the industry, supply curve of the industry. Supply curve of the industry, if you want, you can draw it like this. Remember, it comes like this. It comes like this and this. Okay, you can draw it like this. That's more correct. This is the supply in the industry, demand for the industry. You can say this is the market demand and supply curve. So based on the market demand and supply curve, what do we have? We have our equilibrium price. What's the price? This is the price. Okay. This is the market. Oops, why can't I? Okay, this is the market equilibrium price. Okay. Based on that, right, now I can draw the firm's demand curve and all of that. So this one becomes what, guys? This one is the price equals to average revenue equals to marginal revenue equals to the firm's demand curve. Okay. Then you have the marginal cost curve. Right? What is this curve? This is the marginal cost curve. Now you need to draw the diagram properly, guys. What is our situation? Firm is making economic losses, right? But they are still continuing. Okay, they're still continuing. That's what we figured out now in the previous one. So if they are making economic losses, can you tell me, should the average cost be here or average cost be here? Where should the average cost be? Should it be above the price or below the price? They are making a loss. So the average cost and the price, average cost has to be more than the price, no? That's why they are making losses, no, guys? Now they're making a loss, right? So your average cost will be higher than the price. Is that part clear, guys? You're making a loss, no? So at MR equals MC, this is MR equals MC. Price is only this much, right? Price is only this much, but your cost is this much. So you're making a loss, okay? Average cost should be greater than the price. Average variable cost, what should that be? You're making a loss, but you're still continuing. Where should your average variable cost be? Average variable cost should be less than the price. It should be somewhere like this. This is your average variable cost. So where is your profit maximizing quantity? Over here, MR equals MC, right? How many units are you producing? You're producing this amount of units, let's say Q1. So at this point, right, you're making a loss. How much of a loss? You're making this much of a loss. This yellow color, green triangle, green rectangle is your loss. But you're still continuing production. Why? Because you're continuing production, because your price is still more than your average variable cost. It's less than your average cost, so you're making a loss, but you're still continuing. So therefore, it's less. Can price be equal to ABC? You can, but the most correct one is draw it lesser. Is that okay, guys? This is a connection for the first part, right? See, in this one, you can see MR and MC is equal. AC is greater than price. ABC is less than price. That's what they asked in the first part. In the first part, they asked you to compare the price with what? Compare the price with the average cost, average variable cost, and the marginal cost. So when you compare with average cost, price is less than average cost. In the first part, compare with ABC, price is greater than ABC. Why? Because they are still continuing production. Then what about marginal cost? Price is equal to marginal cost because they produce at MR equals MC. Is that clear, guys? So it's a very interesting 8-mark question, but it's not hard. This is coming from your normal theory. There is no out of syllabus, nothing. The only thing that it might be hard is because it was not there in a past paper. That's the only thing. But question itself is almost a very simple 8-mark question, and the 5 marks for this is a very easy thing. Right? It's a 5-mark thing that you're getting for the diagram, guys. So diagram, label it properly. This is the price, this is the quantity, this is the price slash cost axis, this is the quantity axis, right? So then ABC, AC, MC, right? Draw, label all of them. Okay. Yes, you have to draw the first graph because in the question they're asking draw both the graphs, right? Market and the firm. Okay. Will they ask to draw AC, ABC, MC curves in a typical economy? They might not. So this is a normal situation. Okay, now what happens in this market? If I expand on this question, this is in the short run. What happens to this firm in the long run? Yeah, for a typical firm means this firm. This is the this thing of the firm. Right? This is the curves for a firm. Now, what happens in the long run here, guys? Now they are making losses. What will happen in the long run? If they are making losses, what will happen? Some people will exit the market, right? These are not in the question. I'm just going a little bit ahead. Some firms will exit. So some firms will exit means market supply will decrease. Given that the market supply decreases, what happens? The price will increase to cover the average cost until that point. So in the long run, you will be making normal profit. Supply will decrease and you will go to this point. That's something that you can think about and learn for homework. Fast track people, there are questions on those. We'll do it probably in our mock exams and all of that. Okay, so let me come back to the paper. Right, interesting question. Is that okay, guys? See, draw two graphs are side by side, market and for the firm. So market and for the firm, both the graphs. Not hard. If you learn the unit, it's okay. I think it's an easy 8 mark to get though. It's not that hard of a 8 mark to get. Is that okay, guys? That's the end of the unit 4 past papers. So conclusion that I can give you is, right, for unit 4, there is a typical set of questions that the examiner tests. But now looking at the recent papers, okay, the examiner is trying to go a little bit more than that, right? So if you look at the latest 2020, 2020, 21, 22 papers, the typical questions are there here. Features of perfect competition, this year's try to make a difference. These are typical questions, decreasing returns and diminishing returns. So in addition to the typical questions, the examiner is now trying to take an extra step to test something a little different. But that does not mean he's putting something out of the syllabus. He's taking the same thing. Maybe earlier if he tested a theory question, now he puts a practical question. Now see, earlier they tested what is economic rent transfer earnings. Now they gave a small story and asking for a calculation. Earlier they tested what is normal profit, what is this direct cost, indirect cost. They tested those. Now using those, they are telling you to calculate economic profit, right? So earlier they tested, even in this, right? They tested, remember in MCQs and all, and even remember they said the firms will shut down when this is there, when that is there, right? They're trying to put it into a practical context and ask you. So in your paper also, expect something like this. So most likely your mock exams and all that we'll be doing in the fast track program, I will change it into that way. You will not have a lot of typical questions because that's too easy. Okay, we'll get into some interesting questions when we discuss those. So that's all with the past papers. We'll move into unit number 5.